Hey y'all, I'm back with a super beginner friendly knotless tutorial. You can pause the video. These are the products that I use. Today I'm going to be sectioning her hair into 3 sections, and by doing this you have more control with your partings, especially when you get to the front. If you struggle doing like rows, this gives you more control of that. So I did the first 2 rows off camera, and this is my medium butt length size. So they're nice and long, and I'm also going to show you how to extend your braids if that's something that you struggle with as well. So after you get past behind the ear, what you want to do is try to make sure your parts that you're doing in the back can match up with the front, so that way they still have like an even look when it comes to like doing your rows. The front might not be as perfect as the back as far as like lining them up, but you want to try to get them to match each other as close as you can. And what you see me doing right here, I like to flip that row up just to make sure that it's even and my parting is going the way that I want it to do. And for you to get a nice straight part, you want to just keep the comb flat to the scalp, and that's how you're going to get that nice crispy look. And I also clean it with the product as well, just to give it more definition. To get your knotless braids to lay flat, you want to make sure that you brick layer. Your brick layering should resemble like a staircase as you're going up. Also, you want to make sure that the parts are in between each other, so you can use the braid at the bottom row as a guide. It should be like parted in between the middle of each braid. You can see exactly what I'm talking about by just visually looking, but that will help you with your brick layering. Once you brick layer, you should have that nice flat look, and each braid will fall in between each other, which is exactly what you want when you're doing your knotless braids. The product I'm using is called Lock-In. Y'all, I swear on everything, like I have not used any other product since I've been using this. The quality of it is amazing. It lasts for like 5 heads. It is a little bit on the pricier side, but y'all, this stuff lays down hair, whether it's coarse, whether it's soft, fine, everything. Okay, then I start doing like a braid motion, but I don't do a complete braid. And I'm going to show y'all exactly how I feed the hair in. So what I like to do is form like a C with my fingers, which I'm going to show y'all how I'm grabbing that. I grab it with my fingers, and then I form like a C, and I'm putting it in between my pointer and my thumb finger. That's how I feed the hair in. That's where I'm going to feed the hair in, right there, which I'm trying to show y'all visually. I also don't use a braid rack, so I just grab the hair as I go. But if you are a beginner and you feel like you do need a braid rack, you could do that and just section the hair on the braid rack. But honestly, I feel like that takes up so much time, and I found that just pulling the hair as I go is more faster than trying to do all the sections for the braid rack. But to each his own. What works for one person might not work for another, so you just have to find the method that works for you. But I just like to continue to add the hair in until it feels like the braid that I did before, because you want all of your braids to be consistent with each other. So yeah, I'm trying to show how I feed the hair in real time, because I get a lot of comments asking how I'm feeding the hair in, or people will say like they can't see because my fingers are in the way. So for this first braid, I'm going to be doing it in complete regular speed, because I want y'all to actually understand how I'm feeding the hair in. You want to also make sure that you're using your product as you're braiding down, because you want to make sure you're keeping the hair tucked. When you are tucking with knotless braids, the braids will last longer because the client's hair isn't exposed, it's covered up with the braid hair. And a lot of the times with my clients, when they come back for their touch-ups, it's really just the roots that look bad because the braids are still intact. So yeah, just make sure you're tucking. Tucking is key. Tucking is a major key. Now I want to show you how I extend the braid. So if you can see this piece of hair right here, I'm going to be putting it in between the right side right there, and I'm just going to be tucking it under, and then I'm just going to be braiding it down. And honestly, doing the extending part is not hard once you get the hang of it. You just want to keep on braiding down, and you want to use the braid beside it to do like the length check to make sure that you have enough hair added. If it's not the same length as the rest of the braids, you just want to continue to add the hair until you get that desired length, which I'm going to show you visually how I check that as well. If it doesn't make sense, you'll see exactly what I'm saying. Tying knots are so important when you're doing knotless braids because it's going to keep the braid from unraveling. So what I do is I just take a little piece and I wrap it around my finger and then just like loop it around. You only have to do one loop with this hair because the hair is nice and firm. It's not too soft to where it's going to unravel. And yeah, tying knots is just really going to help it to stay. So this is how the braid turned out. As y'all can see, the rest of them are going to be in a little bit of a faster speed, but I'm going to do the same steps that I did for this first braid. So now I'm about to show y'all why I feel like this is better if you're a beginner. So as you can see, it's easier to line up the front rows once you've already done the back. Now, the rows may not be like super adjacent to each other, but you can get them as close as possible to the back row, and it'll still be nice and even, and you'll get that full look doing it this way as well. And it's less work, honestly. It just makes it easier. So I'm gonna just try to match it up with each row. If not, like I said, you just try to get it as close as possible. But with my mediums, I like it to be 5 rows on each side in the front. So I'm just going to part off like 5 sections, and then I'm going to continue to do the same methods that I used in the back in the front. I use the mousse to lay down any flyaways, and it just helps to set the braids in place. So that's why I do this step. And the foam that I'm using is the Vigorol mousse. It's only like $5 from my beauty supply store, and it works really good. So I just use that one. I love the Fantasia spritz because it is extra hold and it keeps the braids nice and firm, especially at the top where the roots are. You just want to make sure you're pressing that down while you're blow drying so it can be nice and sleek and flat. And voila, you've done knotless braids. Let me know what you think in the comments. These braids turned out really nice, really full, and they're not heavy at all. And all you have to do is just follow these simple steps and your knotless braids will be looking the same way. Look at that. Swing it. Oh. Subscribe to my channel, y'all. Become a member of the Slay Gang. Bye.